All right. I am so excited. Welcome to the So Here for It podcast. I am your host, Amy Mingan. And today I am talking all about what I wish I knew before I started my naturopath business. Because let me tell you, it has been a journey. Over the past 17 years, I have moved through different niches. I've served thousands of clients. And about the halfway mark, I started to actually mentor other naturopaths and nutritionists. And I was like, also, just before I move on to the next bit, I was also running a yoga business. I was teaching yoga and meditation, and I was also lecturing nutrition. So I have been a busy bee for the last little while, and I wanted to share some things with you guys because these are the top 3 tips. Which, I mean, I don't love, top 3 tip things, but this is actually super important. I think that you guys are going to get so much out of this. So listen up. And if you have the opportunity to write some things down, please do, because this will be really value packed. So first of all, I want to say I have served a lot of people and I've learned a lot of things by making mistakes. So a lot of people will call me brave. And I would say, like, there's some Delulu energy in being brave. Like, you've got to be courageous in order to risk something, in order to get something, right? And it has been a big risk on my heart at times. There's been times where I'm like, oh, I'm going to put this thing out there. And back in the beginning, it was a big self-development journey. I'm going to say that. It was a big self-development journey because when I first started out, I used to put my self-worth on every single offer. So if somebody said no, it would hurt me so much. But then if somebody said yes, it would be the best thing in the world. And no one had taught me about the importance of working on money mindset, of working on getting the literacy around money sorted, on getting the systems of money sorted in the business from the get-go. So here I was creating a business, but I had all of these underlying beliefs where it was like, oh my gosh, can I charge that much? Maybe I need to discount it. Maybe they're not going to want to pay the $35 for that probiotic. Maybe I'm going to have to discount it. Maybe they don't want to pay me over $100 for my initial consult. Maybe I'm going to have to discount it. And I know most people would be charging more than that right now, which is totally fine. It's beside the point. It's more so about how I felt when the money was coming in, when I needed to put that EFTPOS machine in front of someone and for them to pay it. I had this underlying belief that they wouldn't want to pay it, that they couldn't afford it, and blah, 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 blah. I'm sure if you've done your own money mindset work, this is resonating. Now, this is what I wish that I knew beforehand. I wish that I had have been a little more financially literate. I wish that I knew about the purpose of money. I wish that I knew about the energetics with money, because there's a lot of things that I do inside my Woman of Value mastermind. And I take these women through lots of money mindset work, but also about the structures and the purpose around money, because money loves a purpose. Money loves to know exactly where to go, what you're going to be utilizing it for. And there's no use just setting a goal in the hope of getting it without necessarily having a purpose for it. So I want you to have a think about what current systems you have in place. Do you set weekly goals? Do you set daily goals? Do you set monthly and quarterly goals? And how does that work for you? Because I just received a message literally an hour ago from one of the women inside my mastermind, and she has just done 3,200, I think was the number, 3,200 in her business this week. And literally a number of weeks ago, maybe about 8 weeks ago, she was seeing one client a week. And now she's selling packages. She's not necessarily working 10 times as hard. Let me tell you that. She has utilized the energetics work. She has utilized the structures and processes, and she's utilizing money as a purpose. And guess what? She has 10x'd her weekly amount that comes into her account. That is cash in bank. We're not just talking a sales amount. We're talking about the cash being transferred into her bank account, which is phenomenal. And I just wonder, like, if you're not currently already at a $3,000 week, have you ever experienced it? And if you haven't yet, how would your life change if you did? Because I know, I recall the first time I ever made $3,000 in a week, and it was life-changing. There were so many other things and upgrades and different things that I could do with that money and put it towards. And that it's not just about the money. It's about being able to upgrade your life. It's about being able to say yes to your kids. It's about being able to do the house renovation or pay for the holiday or pay for extra things inside the house that your partner doesn't have to pay for. And hey, to all the single people out there, it means that you get to upgrade your lifestyle, and it's humongous. No matter if you're in a partnership, in a family, or if you're single, having extra money coming in without having to work 10 times as hard is always helpful. So that's why I want to share this with you. It's about really learning what is the undercurrent of your money stories, what is the energetic work that you can do, which I go into inside the mastermind. So reach out if you want the link toward that. And by the way, it's about you really getting clear about who you serve and doing it really well. So it's not just about being able to sell, it's about being able to deliver results for your clients too. So the next thing that I want to talk to you about, what I wish that I knew when I first started my business, is more so about, when you first leave, like when you're inside the whole academic world, and I have been a lecturer, so I know about this, right? When you're in the academic world, you are taught that you probably don't know enough and you won't be good enough until you do know enough. But the beauty of it is we're actually going to be lifelong learners. There's never going to be a time where you're going to know everything, because let's just face it, you're human, I'm human, we have our interest areas. There are going to be things that we're going to be fully embodied in, and there are going to be some things that we have zero idea about, and it's perfectly okay. But in the beginning, just like every other naturopath, I invested a lot in courses so that I could learn more about pathology, learn more about herbs, learn more about disease processes, learn more about whatever, right? And I also invested in clinical mentorship. So it's like, okay, if I had this type of client, how would I treat them? What's this type of protocol? And like, I wanted to know all these tangible things. Luckily enough, I pick up on things really quickly, and I notice patterns in my clients. And so I didn't need to continuously invest in those things ongoing. But I do see it in the naturopath and nutritionist world where they're still doing it years and years and years later. And I just want to say this: invest in learning marketing. Invest in learning about cognitive biases. Invest in learning about the psychology of your clients, the psychology of sales, the psychology of why people behave the way that they behave. Because the more that you can connect with people, the easier it becomes. You might get great rapport with a client, but what happens before you actually get the client? Like, we need to set up systems and processes inside your business and inside your life so that you're continuously attracting people into your world. And most naturopaths and nutritionists don't have any idea about this. And it's perfectly fine, because there are lots of ways that I can help. Again, we talk a lot about marketing inside the mentorship that I offer, the Woman of Value Mastermind. There is countless conversations that we have every single day inside of it, because they have invested in getting to know a whole lot of stuff. So they're walking textbooks, and they're incredible with their knowledge. Like, I am in awe of all of their knowledge, but they're not entirely sure how to put that into words so that people get it. They're not entirely sure how to put their packages and programs and positioning together so that people are like, oh my gosh, this is a hell yes, I'm ready to work with you. But once they do come through the mastermind, they're like, I know how to do this now. And that's always my goal. That is always my goal. This is so, so important for you to be able to receive this information, but also to know what the heck to do with it. There's no use you just finding out another strategy without learning how to take action on it. So learn about marketing. That's point number 2. Now, point number 3, we're coming around to the very last thing, and this is key. It's find someone who is where you would like to be. And they might be 3, 4, 5, 6 steps ahead of you, but find someone who is where you would like to be and learn from them. And this is the key to mentorship. This is the key to coaching. This is the key to being able to move 70% faster. So in the beginning, I didn't know what a mastermind was. I didn't know what a mentor was. I found out probably about 3-4 years into my clinical practice. So I'd already got a decent amount of clients in just through word of mouth and referrals. Once I started with a mentor, it was really helpful for me to get online. So I'm really grateful because I got online well before COVID. I was online back in like 2016, I think was my first thing. And I was using ManyChat back then. Like, this is how old school I am. That's a long time ago now that I think about it. So I want you to have a think about, if you were to hire a mentor, what is the type of mentor that you would be needing right now? Do you want somebody who is also a practitioner, who also runs a really successful business, has run lots of different successful businesses, all into the high six figures, that has dealt with multiple different industries, has dealt with product-based businesses as well as service-based businesses, but also knows how to do the feminine style of marketing as well as doing the masculine style of marketing? Because the thing is, people are going to encourage you to follow their cookie cutter approach. And I just, you know what? Just not a cookie cutter person. And that's why I offer mentorship. I offer mentorship and I offer a mastermind, because this is where the gold is. Sometimes you can't see your own gifts. Sometimes you can't amplify your own talents. And sometimes you can't actually see what it is that I see in you. And that's perfectly fine. It is absolutely perfectly fine that you don't necessarily have everything unlocked right now, because that's the whole purpose of life, is to experience life, is to enjoy life, and also to grow. And I want you to consider this. I said this to a private client this morning. She is coming out of the hospital system and she's just enrolled in her holistic nutrition course, which is so exciting. And she wants to start offering nutrition consults next year. And she said to me this morning that there's a job that's come up. It's going to give her like some really solid income for the next year, but it's going to put off her actual dream for another year. And so I said to her this: the version of you who has the money from the job, I want you to go 6 months into the future and just feel into how she feels. And then the version of you who is choosing her dream and also has the job on the side, doesn't need to quit her job, by the way, doesn't need to burn the boats. She still can have the part-time job, but she's following her dream. She has the holistic nutrition business. She's helping the women who she wants to help. She's created this incredible clinical system that serves so many more women in the way that she wants to serve. Plus, she has the lifestyle that she wants. That's a really important part, because while she's part of the hospital system, she has to play by their rules, she has to go by their shifts, and she has to go by their contracts. Whereas when she's running her own show, she gets to create all of that herself. So I've asked her that question. She hasn't got back to me yet, but I asked her that question. Now that version that's taken the leap, that is doing the other version, the life by design, that style of business, that style of lifestyle, I want you to go out 6 months in the future and feel into that version. They're two completely different timelines. And I want you to consider that too. If you continue on your current trajectory, is it going to be exactly where you want to go? And do you feel like you're going to get there in the amount of time that feels great to you? If so, awesome. Well done. You're in alignment. But if not, it might be time to reach out. Time for mentorship, time for a mastermind, time to call in support. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me. And please share this with someone, because this info needs to get out there to more practitioners. This info needs to get out there to more women in business. I believe in you. I know that you have it in you, and I will speak to you really soon.